great. I love the Isagenix life, and it just fits so well with my training and my mobile fitness clients, on the go clients. So
Yeah,
it's perfect.
that's great.
I saw your transformation picture. When did that happen?
You saw what did you say?
Your transformation picture with that six pack.
Oh, yes. That happened through the IsaBody challenge. About 2 IsaBody challenges later, I took that, maybe 3. So
Wow.
it happened in let's see, now it's June right now. About 3-4 months ago, I took that picture. So
Oh my gosh. Do you mind if I grab that and share it?
no, not at all. Yeah, you can share it with whoever you want. Yep.
Okay, you guys have to check Zane out. That's a six pack.
Yeah. Thank you. Lots of hard work, but consistency with the nutrition with Isagenix, and it really was. It's transformed my life and helped me to have a story to share with my clients. So it really helped me build my business, and now, even in COVID-19, my business is still growing. I'm getting I'm getting remote training clients that start stuck at home, and then I can share with them about Isagenix, and now I've got 2 trainers that are excited about Isagenix. 2 of my trainers on my team who are getting excited as well, and can basically duplicate what I'm trying to do as well. So it's pretty exciting.
That's very, very exciting. That's awesome. And what a perfect business to be in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mobile training for people at home.
Right. Yeah.
We'll come to you. So good for you. Perfect time.
Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
And Kelly is going to talk to all of you guys about connecting tonight. So that goes along perfect with what you're doing as well.
Yes.
Kelly, let's see, Brad. I think Brad has already started recording, I believe. I can't see on my end.
Okay.
So
great.
I'm going to mute out Kelly Campbell. I'm so excited. Kelly's a fabulous, fabulous trainer. And she didn't get much notice for tonight, but she's very good on the fly and so good at what she does. And so Kelly's going to have a discussion with all of you guys about connecting. It is a discussion. So go ahead and put your videos on and mute out and have some fun. And Kelly's just going to lead you guys to just a great place of how to connect. Thank you, Kelly.
Great. Absolutely. Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate you giving the disclaimer that this was on short notice and it will be more of a discussion than a lecture. Hopefully we'll just learn from each other on how to better connect, how you're connecting now. So I tend to use Facebook and Instagram as social media platforms for connecting with people. But obviously nothing beats face-to-face and personal connections through social groups that you're a part of, business groups that you're a part of, just relationship building that you do as part of everyday life. And so it's a combination of things that we use in terms of making connections with people and building relationships where people feel comfortable sharing health information with you or asking you questions about the health regimen that you are following. So I'm not real good at like watching the chat while I'm talking. So I'll just ask you kind of theoretically how many of you are using Facebook. I'm going to assume, and I think I've seen most or all of you on Facebook. And then the question would be, are you using Instagram? Like I know I see Zane and Stephanie on Instagram, and I've really enjoyed relationships that I build through Instagram as well. And interestingly, Instagram, I build more international relationships. I build more stranger relationships with Instagram than I have with Facebook, which tends to be friends of friends of friends, as opposed to international, although I have made some international connections through a particular page on Facebook. So, I hear some of the experts talk about their power hour, that they get up in the morning and they have a particular block of time that is their time to make those connections, whether it's calling people, texting people, private messaging, positive messages to them, happy birthdays, happy anniversaries, how are you doing during these difficult times? You know, making those connections, whether it's adding a few new relationships through Facebook or Instagram, whether it's posting, but some people talk about their power hour. Now, I do tend to hit that first moment of the day and kind of share, I call it sharing love. My husband says I'm just, not paying attention to him, but I say, hey, I'm sharing love right now. I'm dropping love on all my people. And I just like to, because I work full time at another job, I know that if I don't spend some time in the morning, just reaching out to some people, putting some positive posts out there, maybe it's Isagenix, maybe it's not, maybe it's family, maybe it's just some uplifting image or quote. If I don't take that time first thing in the morning, then it's noon usually before I have time to do it again. And I like, when possible, to post 3 times a day. Now, I don't always meet that standard, but I like to be able to do morning, lunch, and evening. And that's just part of the consistency of being present. It's algorithms. It's just putting yourself out there in terms of information and touches. Someone who didn't see your post in the morning might think of you in the afternoon. And as someone said on another call recently, you kind of want to be known as the Isagenix gal or the Isagenix guy. And that doesn't mean that every post is Isagenix. In fact, probably 1 in 6 or 1 in 8 should really, should be limited to that much, that little actually being Isagenix related. The rest of it, again, is personal, it's sharing, it's funny, it's trust building, and it's real life. My real life isn't Isagenix 24/7. I may think that in the back of my head, but my real life is so many different components. And in order for people to relate to me, to get to know me, they've got to hear more about me and not just a business that I'm doing. So I tend to do Isagenix maybe 1 out of 6 or 1 out of 8 posts. And, but the big word there is consistency. If you fall away from your posting or your connecting, and it's 2, 3, 4 days, maybe weeks or, matter of weeks before you put a post out there, you're going to lose not just the connections, the algorithm. You just kind of want to be front and center and be present with people. So before I talk about some of the other tools I use, does anyone want to chime in with what they do that works for them? What type of consistency, Zane?
Sure. Let's see. Regarding social media, I think what helps me is, like you said, most of my posts are about my life, about my children, about my family, day-to-day things. And then I then post, because Isagenix is a part of my life, I try to make it be a natural post where I'm talking about how my nutrition has really made an impact on my health as well as my clients. And so I might have a picture of a canister or a picture of some Isagenix products, or I might even talk about it. I'm not so much the one to feel like I should never mention the word Isagenix. I'm more of, if it seems to make sense to say Isagenix, I'll say it. But I know that there are different theories out there as to whether you should or should not. For me, I'm okay with it if I think it would benefit the person viewing it. And because I know they'll always want to look up something or Google something, regardless if I talk to them about Isagenix over the phone or whatever. But it's all about the relationship. And so if they trust me and I'm able to fill them in on some information beforehand about my experience and how it's produced the very best results than anything else I've tried, then they'll more likely sign up than if they hear or read something otherwise somewhere else. So because they'll know the truth that first, and then they can kind of sift through, hopefully, and realize that those other things are not true, that really per serving there's only as much sugar as in half of an apple, and it's actually sugar that your body needs from real food, not the processed sugar. So things like that, where people, you might be afraid, well, they might go somewhere else and purchase it on Amazon or whatever. Well, true, but let's develop the relationship and let's reach out and let's show that we care. And if that works better for you to not ever mention the name, great. If it does work for you to where you have people that you think would benefit from posting a specific picture of a product, then that would work as well. So it's up to each person. I'm pretty much, I'm open to learn more and be coachable about that though too, because I don't have all the answers. So.
Yeah, you've hit on something that I've heard discussed in groups before as well. Do you use the word Isagenix or not? And I'm like you. It's if I'm doing a live video on how to make the greens and matcha lavender drink,
Right.
I think I did that one a few weeks ago. I'm not hiding the Isagenix part of the greens canister, just like I'm not hiding the Isagenix label on the lavender essential oil, and I'm not
Right.
hiding the matcha label. I'm holding stuff up going, okay, now I'm doing a scoop of this and a scoop of that, and I'm stirring this, and I'm talking
Right.
about it as I do it. And so organically, it's part of the visual. But I do
Right.
find that, like I think I did a recent post thanking all the folks who've come along with this journey and talked a little bit about the process. It wasn't organic to use the word Isagenix. It wasn't really, it didn't flow.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be said. And so some of the mystery that people like to say, leave it a mystery. In that
Right.
particular post, it was a mystery. So I guess I do a
Yeah.
little of both.
That's good. Thanks, Kelly, for sharing that. That's helpful. The other thing that I found is that you can say that actually, if you were to go purchase it on Amazon, it's more expensive than if you were to purchase it through someone who can coach you along with it, like myself, and help you with it. So that's the neat thing about it is that, and the other thing that Sarah told me is that, who introduced me to Isagenix, Sarah, on my team too, my trainer, Sarah Boykin, is that if you purchase on Amazon, you don't really know the quality. It could have sat on a shelf for a long time, or something. And so, those are the things that I like to be mindful of when I share with people, that people purchase from you because of the relationship, because they trust you and know, like, and trust you. And that's what I like to develop in my posts, most of all, is that relationship and in person.
Yes, and along that same line of building value for someone who is thinking about price shopping or trying to find it through some other avenue, building value, I like to start off pretty early on in the discussion. Oh, by the way, your first order is going to give you access to the free IsoLife app. And in the
Right.
IsoLife app, you're going to find health news. You're going to find health connections. You're going to be able to enter the IsoBody challenge for free. Yeah, we've got it. It syncs with your fitness, with a lot of fitness trackers. And
Yes.
so I'm often trying to build value at the very beginning there in the
I like
IsoLife
that.
app.
Yeah,
They're not going to get an IsoLife app through their Amazon purchase. So
that's a good point. Yeah, building value too. Exactly. I love that. Thanks, Kelly.
yeah, and of course the groups, so much support through the groups. Like you said, you don't get that personal connection if you go elsewhere to buy it, through some supposedly cheaper routes, probably not cheaper at all. And so when I look at both Facebook and Instagram, Facebook, of course, has the opportunity for groups. And, I was a baseball mom for years, and Facebook wasn't a big part of our lives back then. But if it had been, I would have been in the baseball groups and developing relationships and connections. Before I discovered Isagenix, I found a little remote app that you would track your macros on and track your eating, and they had a Facebook page. So I joined that page, and even though I don't use that app anymore, I'm still in the page, and people are constantly talking about health and asking questions, and it's pretty international. So I chime in, and nobody's supposed to get salesy, but I'll certainly say, hey, I'm doing protein pacing. I love it. Would you like more information? And I've had several people say yes. And so Facebook groups, going out and figuring out what are the groups, where are the groups of people I would connect with. You know, I'm in the legal field. I should probably, you know, and I've had a lot of lawyers who've joined me in Isagenix. I should probably be thinking that through a little more and using Facebook groups to reach more people and make more, you know, genuine connections that then, you know, may lead to people talking about health. Now, Instagram, I handle differently. There aren't Instagram groups, but I use hashtags. So I went to my settings. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and see how I did it. But I follow certain hashtags, and that's a beauty of Instagram is you can follow hashtags. So I follow hashtag healthy lifestyle, hashtag weight loss, hashtag whatever it might be. And then I'm seeing some of the posts that come up. And just today, a gal from, I want to say Libya, made a post. It only came up in my news feed because I follow one of those healthy hashtags, and she had used it in her post. So Instagram popped it into my news feed. Well, I answered the question she was asking for the day, kind of what do you do to refresh and refuel? So I answer, I love hot yoga, you know, and why I like hot yoga. Well, she's now following my page. She's already commented on a couple smoothie bowl posts that I've made. I don't know where that will all go, but those are the types of just connections, the conversations that potentially create some business building opportunities as well. So Facebook and Instagram are you know, have those different types of opportunities.
That's great. Yeah.
Now, so with the connecting, a lot of folks will tell you, and I think this is probably a really good point. I'll have a friend, and 50 friends have said happy birthday, and I hop on the Facebook chain and I say happy birthday. A lot of folks and mentors I've listened to say that's great, but then hop over to private message and send something more sincere and personal. You know, I hope this is the happiest birthday yet, or happy birthday, I love seeing your kids on Facebook. Start a conversation. Don't just chime in and do a post that's going to get a little like or a thank you, but use those opportunities to start conversations. These don't have to be super in-depth. They don't have to take a lot of brain power or emotional, you know, investment. They're just genuine, kind, courteous touches that start conversations. And I cannot believe what happened today when I did that. Somebody, you know, I did the usual thing in the Facebook feed, but then I popped over to her message to Messenger and said, how are you doing? Saw your post, thinking of you. And she lost a significant other in the last 6 months. And that just blossomed into her sharing something she said she hadn't been able to share with anyone yet. I didn't do that for Isagenix. I did that for me, but she is someone who has asked about Isagenix before. So kind of our usual life and our networking, you know, they intermingle. It should always be genuine. But if I don't know that if I wasn't thinking network marketing, that I would have thought to make that separate message. So in a way, Isagenix has made me a better person, a better friend in terms of thinking harder about getting off the Facebook feed and jumping into more personal conversations with people through Messenger, text, phone, whatever it might be. So anyone have thoughts on that, or done something that's worked for you in that regard? All right. I called on Zane earlier because I thought he put his hand up. I think he probably was changing. He was turning on the blinker or something. So, other tools that I use when I want to kind of really get down to business is lists. And I actually learned how to print off my entire Facebook friends list and go through and literally look at every name. Literally look at every name in my friends list on a piece of paper with, you know, with a pen, and say who are the folks that are usually putting likes on my health posts? Who are the people who you know, have seen me out and about pre-COVID and said, man, you look great, what are you doing? That literally happened at a funeral, say about 6 months back. and just making a point to reach out to those people and say, thank you so much for always supporting my health posts. I just love what I'm doing. And if you're ever interested, please let me know. Or reach back out to the person that said, hey, I know it wasn't a good time to talk at the service, but you mentioned, you know, you wanted to talk to me about what I was doing health-wise, and start those conversations. And I'm visual, and sometimes trying to scroll through a Facebook list isn't on my phone or computer isn't always the most productive for me. But printing it out, figuring out how to print it out, Kimberly Penny, I think you helped with that. Figuring out how to get that printed in a compact format where I could go through and be more intentional about identifying people. Has anyone on the call printed off their Facebook list like that? I know Kimberly and Stephanie have. Anyone else? No? Okay. Well, it's Kimberly's got a recording out there somewhere. We'll have to find it and get that shared, because I just thought that was really handy. I think I went from like 100 pages to maybe 20. Still a lot of paper there, but it's been very productive. So then off that list, I made my hot list. I just made a list of folks who actually said something to me in Messenger or in person, and intentionally reached out to those people. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just putting that intention out in the universe or making those efforts. But 1, 2, 3 people on that list have signed up with Isagenix since I made the list. And I don't think that's a coincidence. You know, I think that was me being intentional about reaching out to them. And I use myself as an example anytime I talk about connecting with people. Jody Moore was a paralegal in the law office where I was working. And she must have reached out to me. I think I looked back once in our messenger notes. It was at least 7 or 8 touches. I call them touches, like 7 or 8 times over probably a 6-month period, where she said, hey, I know you've talked about maybe doing something different. We were trying another system that wasn't working, my husband and I. And 7 or 8 times, I was like, oh, it's not a good time. My tenant froze the water pipes. I've got to replace all the pipes. I can't afford to do this right now. Or, yeah, we're not ready to make a jump. Or, we're doing okay where we are. So many times she reached out to me. And then there was one time, and I remember I was walking. I had my phone with me and my little headset. I was walking, and she messaged in and said, hey, there's a special. And that was my night. And of course, like almost everyone says who has this story, I wish I'd done it sooner. But as I'm reaching out to people and saying, hey, just wanted to let you know we're dropping a new shake flavor, or hey, we were running a little special, or it's haven't talked to you in a while. Hope I didn't leave you hanging. I remember one day Isagenix dropped a special. I can't remember if it was Labor Day or what it was. I sent out a number of messages like that, and almost every one of them said, I hope I'm not pestering you. I hope I'm not pestering you. 3 people signed up that day, and all 3 of them thanked me for staying after them. So I think we have to rethink this idea that we're bugging people or that we're pestering people. And we just have to remember my story and those stories and know that it's just a timing issue. Would you agree? Zane, have you seen that?
Yes, I agree. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'm the one who is fearful of pestering people a lot, because I found, so the DISC personality style, DISC, Dr. Robert Rohn, and so I fall on the S. I'm a high S, or supporter, and a lot of trainers are S's. They're supportive people, and so they don't like to ruffle feathers, or they like harmony and peace and quiet and things like that. And so I'm very fearful of ever annoying anyone or pestering anyone, because that's the type of personality I am as an S. And so I have to every time get over that, even if I call or text somebody again to follow up with one of my clients who would say no to Isagenix, but they're still sort of on the fence, and I know that it would be for the benefit of their health and fitness, and that they would amp their results based on what I've seen twice as much if they were to do Isagenix with their workouts, if they would just do it. And so for their own good, I have to tell myself this is for their own good that I reach out to them, because I'm compassionate about them. I know they're struggling, and I need to let them know. It's my duty and obligation as a trainer anyway to tell them what they need. That's what they're paying me for, is for results. So if I don't do my job and tell them and get bold and get over myself, say in a nice way, this is what you need to do. In fact, I just had one of my clients, after I would say about 20 times talking to her about it, she finally signed up 2 days ago with Isagenix.
Zane, I'm having a really hard time hearing you. Adam, can you mute?
Oh, sorry.
No problem.
So I would say, yeah, so I just said that one of my clients 2 or 3 days ago finally purchased it after like at least 20 times of sending her information, different things. And I thought for sure she's gonna be super annoyed, and you know, at any point she might like say, you know what, I've had enough, please don't tell me anymore, or else I'm canceling or something. But to my surprise, she finally ordered, and like she hasn't. So as soon as she gets her products, I'm going to follow up with her, but she'll probably get them any day now if she hasn't received them yet. But thank you, Kelly, for sharing that. It's just, we have to get over ourselves and think about their own good. I found helps me as someone who doesn't like to ruffle feathers at all or cause problems or conflict. So.
Yeah, and I had to get over that too early on, that I was bugging people. And I used to, if there was silence, if someone didn't respond to me, I think I used to spend way too much time trying to figure out if that meant I shouldn't reach out again. And now I am so used to that. That is just part of the protocol. I'll put out messages. I may put out 150 messages on a particular day, depending on what's going on and whether that is information I want to get out. And of course, only 10 people are going to respond. That, in fact, I've had days where maybe 20 respond, and that's a big woohoo day. I don't always make those touches about health or Isagenix. I try to use holidays, Mother's Day, May Day, just send a totally non-Isagenix positive graphic that everyone can appreciate, that everyone is going to be happy to see in their box. So not every time they open a message from me do they think, oh my gosh, it's about health again. I try to take any opportunity to send, and again, I literally have probably a list of 150, sometimes up to 200 people that I may reach out to. Know that I'm not doing this every week. I'm not even doing this every month necessarily, but I would say at least every 3 months, there is some type of communication, and more frequent if I've gotten a concept, an idea from them that they are actually interested in health and not just kind of watching my stuff drop in. So that's another thing you have to get over, is that the people don't respond. That is perfectly fine. It just happens. You don't have control over that. You can only do on your end what you can do to make a connection with someone. And if they choose to let that one go, that's okay. All right. So so Facebook, Instagram, Messenger. Then there's the in-person physical groups, and of course with COVID we haven't been doing as much of that, but people connect with their kids, teen parents, business groups. BNI is a popular one. I don't do the chamber. I think their fee's a little high, but there's a women's group out of the chamber. I could pay money to be part of those if I wanted to. All kinds of actual interpersonal groups. I have a friend, more than one, but one in particular, a close one, who has met so many people through her NA group. And one of her friends became a business builder after attending one of my sip and samples last September. And that's a group. That is a group of personal connections where just like any other group in life, you share a common bond over a particular hobby or interest or life experience. And you know, sharing just naturally comes out of being involved in a variety of types of groups. Do any of you have any particular business groups or social groups that you've been a part of that have been kind of created some sharing opportunities with Isagenix as well? One person said, start your own group, you know, start a book club, start a walking club, you know, those types of things. Earlier today, I was in my bright yellow, big bold letters, Park Patrol volunteer. I walk the city parks and bike the city parks as a city volunteer. I was doing it anyway for my own health, but I was asked to consider doing it for the city. So they, as they put it, there's a friendly face on the trail if someone was in distress. And we also look for, you know, trees that are blown down, and you know, we've got a lot of rain right now in our part of the country, and there's little areas of the trail that are getting washed out. But that's become a connection with some of the other volunteers. So there are a number of ways that where we normally would be involved with groups anyway as part of our life, those often turn into personal connections as well. So. Well, I don't want to do all the talking, Zane. I appreciate you jumping in there. Anyone else willing to jump in with some comments? Unmute your mic and please step right up to the mic, so to speak. Oh, I wanted to say something about the shake flavor tomorrow. So if you've been following the posts, the pages, Instagram, you know that on Monday, Isagenix started with 5 shake flavors, and they told us in advance they were going to eliminate 1 each day, and tomorrow that flavor drops. So I couldn't tell you all the ones we started with, but I know we had mocha, banana bread, cookies and cream, tangerine, I think pina colada. I guess I do know all 5. And so those have gradually dropped down to today, when it's down to cookies and cream and tangerine. So I'm pulling for tangerine. My son is pulling for cookies and cream. And I'm sure either one would be awesome. But tomorrow, one of those is open for purchase. I think it's 9 a.m. Eastern time. And the rumor is, the inside scoop I've heard, is that it will sell out in a day. It is expected to sell out by evening. That tells me that it's a fairly limited quantity compared to some of the other limited release flavors that come out. We always know they may sell out. Sometimes we're surprised they sell out more quickly than others. But this one is rumored to be of such limited quantity that it will sell out during the day. So what I did earlier today was sent out messages to all of my existing customers, whether they've ordered or not in the last year or 2. And I said, new flavor dropping tomorrow. It will probably sell out before the end of the day. If you haven't ordered for a while, get into your account, figure out how to sign into your account now, so that you're ready to order tomorrow. So it's, again, not something that you have to do, but why not? Why not just I try to always let all of my customers know. I've probably got 70 or 80. I have emails for at least 50 of them. And I just try to keep them updated when something like that happens. So building your business isn't always just, obviously, getting new people in, but it's nurturing and encouraging and feeding and building that relationship with your existing customers as well. And so it'll be fun to see if there's some folks that jump back in that haven't been there for a while. And if you aren't already doing it, anytime you have someone who's interested, you don't have to be the sole information source for every question they have. That's the beauty of Isagenix. There are so many people doing the teaching that if you're new to the business side and you don't know what to say to people and someone's interested, or you're starting to reach out and people are responding, put them in the pages. Put them in the Game Changers page, put them in the Great Nutrition page, put them in the Facebook pages where Stephanie and Annie and so many people, I'm going to leave somebody out if I start, Kathleen, so many people are posting every day and sharing information. Put them in there, let them learn, let them look around. Send them a video again, you don't have to be the expert on everything. You are the, I forget what Zach Slobin says, but you are the person who connects them with the answers. You don't have to have all the answers. So you're the connection to the destination. There's something like, anybody know what Zach says? Somebody might remember better than I do what that is. So no, okay. What other topics do you want to cover before we are done? Let's see, we've gone about 35 minutes. Any other topics?
Can I share something to the group that I've done recently that was really amazing, but
Please.
it's interesting because it's going over the time of
Yeah.
the 11-day.
Yeah, probably.
Aaron, you're mute.
Greg, it's pouring down rain.
Don't blow away. Okay. Anyway, sorry. My ADHD. I can't focus. So in any case, I ended up posting, I think it was like around May 20th, I posted before and afters. I did a 2-day cleanse, and I posted them on my Instagram stories. And I ended up inviting people, like, these are my 2-day results. And I don't think I even said like message me or whatever, but all these people messaged, and I'm like, we're going to start a cleanse as a group together on June 1st. I had 8 women join me. I created a pack using my cart. I called it my Cleanse Day pack. It was just 1 canister of cleanse, peach mango, 1 of the mango bia, and 1 of the Thai sweet chili. So it was only like 62 BV, but almost all of those ladies have ordered something else additionally now. And I have 1 that's about to start on a 30-day system. So yes, I forego the product introduction bonus, but to have sustained clients coming back, I'm more than happy about that.
I'm going to write
I can't
that
believe
down.
just how much food we're going through. I can't believe how much food we're using. Yeah.
I'm going to write that down. Peach mango CFL, the mango bia, and the Thai sweet chili harvest thins or whey
I
thins.
just thought to myself, if I was doing a cleanse for the first time, what are the products that I would be like, this actually tastes really good and I'm excited, because they're going to have the results. And then if you give them a good experience too, they were thrilled. And so with that challenge, they sent their pictures. I started a Facebook chat that I actually said I was going to close it last week after we finished, but I haven't technically closed it yet. And at the end of it, I put in my friend Rebecca Caffiero's explanation of what's in a 30-day, and said, like, if you guys are interested in any of these products, you now have an account and I'm happy to help walk you through how to get any of those. And so it didn't take a lot of pushing, because they had already now seen their before and after. But with that result, I'm going to then do that again at the end of June. So I'm going to say, these were our results. If the ladies will give me permission to share, then I'll share their pictures too. I might cover up their faces. And then I'll start it again. So that's going to be my new thing at the beginning of every month, is I'm going to do a challenge group, because selfishly, it also made my cleanse really easy, you know, to have people doing it with me.
Yes, and for anyone, that is awesome, Sarah. For anyone who isn't as comfortable running their own challenge or their own 11-day shred in their own page, get with Game Changers, Stephanie's page. That group is running one at the beginning of every month. And so you don't have to reinvent the wheel if that's not your wheelhouse. No pun intended. You don't have to come up with your own graphics and language. You help connect people with the groups. You let them know about the shred. You get them signed up under your account, of course, if you're wanting to build business and earn free products or cash. And Sarah alluded to the 100 BV. The 100 BV is a nice threshold when someone's coming in, if possible. People can order as little or as much as they want. but enrolling people at least 100 BV helps you in a number of different ways. I just earned the free vitamins. What are those? $150 for a 30-day supply of what I call the Cadillac Isogenics vitamins. That includes the isogenesis, that includes the cytoactives. Those are incredible. And I earned those free by signing 5 people up in one month, but they all came in at least 100 BV. So there are some incentives for helping people get started that way. But again, the important thing is to bring people to the table, to bring them to a healthier place. And although I believe that they benefit more from coming in with a 30-day system, that their success rate is going to be greater. The 11-day shreds have been wonderful for bringing some people back on my team that haven't been active for a while, for bringing some new people in. And I've had everything from, the 100 BV order, which is roughly, $150 or so, for the 11-day shred, on up to the weight loss. Let's see, she bought the weight loss value pack. So it's been the whole
great.
range.
Let's do it for tomorrow.
A whole range of customers coming in. So. All right. Who else has got something to share? Thank you, Sarah. Anyone else? Let's see. Who haven't I talked to? Kathleen. Well, you've got your. When you don't have your face showing, I'll try not to call on you because you might be driving. I don't want you to do anything if you're driving. All right, so we've talked about connecting in a lot of different ways. We talked about some list making that can be helpful just to get your mind going and thinking about, who, again, just looking at names sometimes reminds you who has reached out to you or said something that you haven't touched base with in a while. Let's see here. If you're not already using the leader in action forms and you're working on the business building side, the leader in action worksheet, or the leader in action, I guess they're all called leader in action worksheet now, is a nice way. It's a great visual. Again, I'm a visual person. I don't know about you, but I like starting every month, listed, all of the weeks listed down the side. And if a whole week goes by and there's nothing but zeros in that column for that week, I haven't worked very hard. And so it's a visual incentive to get to work and try to put some numbers on the board for the next week in terms of enrollments, in terms of helping some of my enrollments make money. And that's been so fun. I know we have a wide range of people in the call right now. Some of you have done very little business. Some of you have really reached some great heights. You do it at your own pace, but consistency. Consistency is key. It's those little things you're doing every day, hopefully every day, in terms of making connections, getting educated, getting on these calls. They're so informational. And if you've missed some of the past calls, you can go back through some of the pages, the Facebook private groups I've mentioned, and you'll find videos there. If you go into your own account and look into your resources page, you'll go to places and find videos. And if you're starving for information on how to build your Isogenics business, reach out to one of us. We've all got our favorite mentors that we follow on YouTube or in the pages to get information and to learn more about breaking down some of those barriers and misconceptions and getting comfortable with sharing health. So I think I've exhausted everything I intended to say. We're at about 8:42, and sometimes we go a full hour, but if no one else has anything to share, we'll probably end early. But I'm going to give an awkward period of silence first and see if anyone has anything else they'd like to share tonight. Or ask. Please ask questions. There are no bad questions. All right, it's gotten very quiet. So thank you again. And if that's it, everyone take care. Have a wonderful evening. Watch for the new flavor dropping tomorrow. Order early because it may go quickly. So we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you, Kelly.
Take
All right,
care,
night,
Zane.
everyone.
All right, great. Thank you. Take care, Sarah.
Good to see you, Sarah. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Okay,
Good job,
Fran.
Kelly.
Oh, thank you. Congratulations. What did you won some stuff yesterday, right?
I did. I got some eye cream.
What is it?
I think cream for my eyes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think he told me, I knew a couple things I won, but one of the things he said was just stuff. You won some stuff.
That
So,
sounds like
okay.
Brent.
I'll just watch and see what stuff I get then. So,
Oh.
all
Kelly,
right.
it's so cool watching what you've been doing. It's very inspirational.
Oh, it's fun watching everybody. It's a journey, and I am determined. I've got my poster on the wall. I didn't show that in tonight's call. I have my poster on the wall. I'm determined to get to director, and if I get to director, why not get to executive? So I'm working it. I had bumped out of manager. I bumped back into manager recently, and it's time to hit director. So I'm watching the dates. The dates are key. We'll see if I can. It's like having plates in the air. You know, you have to have 6 plates in the air.
Yeah. Well, good call. You did a great job. I enjoyed
Great.
it.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks.
We'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.